There are a number of ways of preventing mosquito bites. Probably the way I'm the biggest fan of is personal protection. That is to say, something that you would either apply to your skin or something that you have in your clothing to repel mosquitoes. This is a very effective way of avoiding mosquito bites. In this way, the mosquito either never comes into contact with you, or when it does, it immediately chooses not to bite you. It's going to disrupt the ability of a mosquito to sense the chemicals coming off of your body that it uses to find somebody. And these repellents are very effective at that. There's a number of different repellents out there, most of which are going to block the odorant receptors, kind of like plugging the nose of the mosquito and preventing it from finding you. Some of them taste bad, and these work when a mosquito actually lands on you and essentially is tasting you with its legs or its mouth and is like, ooh, that's bitter. I don't want to taste that. Another class of repellents actually overstimulates the mosquito. It kind of makes them nervous, if you will, and that is effective when it comes into contact with the mosquitoes because, for lack of a better word, they kind of freak out and go somewhere else. One approach to repellency is using substances that actually become airborne. And in this way, they can act as spatial repellents. And there are now spatial repellents available on the market that you can use in your backyard to produce an area that repels mosquitoes. But in many settings, the best choice is something that you're going to put on your body, either clothing or on your skin as a repellent. These can sometimes also become airborne, and so they prevent the mosquito even from landing, or when the mosquito lands, they come into contact with this substance and it tells the mosquito that they don't want to feed on this person. These are very effective because many of us are not just sitting in our backyards. We're out there in the woods, recreation, or for work, or we're gardening, and we don't want to spray spatial repellent over a large area. It's expensive. And so in that way, this personal protection can be really important. A popular product or products on the market right now are natural repellents, and these are usually essential oils derived from plants. Regrettably, their effectiveness in repelling mosquitoes is limited, often lasting less than an hour if they're repellent at all to mosquitoes. One other problem with these natural repellents is that they're entirely unregulated. They are deemed safe as far as the EPA knows, but for that reason, one brand versus another may have entirely different concentrations of essential oils, different mixes of essential oils. You don't really know what you're getting. And that's not true of the EPA-approved repellents, which are regulated, and therefore you kind of know exactly what you are getting. Some of these natural repellents may smell great, but you often have to reapply them maybe every half an hour for them to actually repel mosquitoes. And so while they work for some people in certain circumstances, for effective mosquito repellency, you really want to go with a different product that is regulated, something like picaridin or related compounds. One great approach that is low-tech, relatively inexpensive, and can provide an area for you to be outside that is almost mosquito-free is actually just using high-powered fans, like floor fans that you might have to cool your house in the summer. You can set these up. Mosquitoes hate flying in wind, actually. It is hard for a little mosquito out there trying to find a blood meal when it's really windy. And by setting up an environment with high wind from a fan, you can effectively repel mosquitoes. They won't want to be there. Now, probably not as effective as some other approaches, but certainly can work in a way that allows you to have a little space that is free of mosquitoes. Now, there's also an element of controlling your environment to just prevent the population of mosquitoes from becoming abundant enough to keep you from going outside. And around the home, particularly in a suburban setting like you would find in much of the United States, this is about eliminating small bodies of water. Any container that can fill with a little bit of rain can be a place that mosquitoes breed. Every mosquito lays eggs. Those eggs have to hatch in water, and the mosquito larvae, or like the baby mosquitoes, have to grow in water. So if you eliminate the water, you can eliminate the mosquitoes. We call this tip and toss because what we want people to do is walk around their yard, find these small bodies of water, and tip them over or toss them out. Now, if you have something that is a little bit larger, or you don't want to toss out all the time, like a bird bath, which the birds enjoy when it's dry out, you can actually prevent mosquitoes by using a product like one that has a bacteria called BTI, very safe for the environment, very safe for other animals. And you can put a dunk into that body of water. It will prevent larvae from growing in that water for up to a month. In addition to these small bodies of water, which in my experience are the #1 source of mosquitoes in a backyard setting, larger bodies of water can also contribute to mosquito populations. This is more often to be encountered in rural environments, but can also be found in suburban environments as well. Now, this could be like a pond in the backyard or an abandoned swimming pool. A well-maintained swimming pool that has chlorine in it is not going to produce any mosquitoes, but sometimes pools get neglected and abandoned. And then that temporary kind of water that settles into the pool, maybe it turns a shade of green that's unappealing, can produce mosquitoes. Now, many ponds are thought to be productive for mosquitoes, but if there's fish in that pond, they do a pretty good job of eating the mosquitoes before they come out. There are some exceptions to this. One thing you learn when you study a diverse group of animals like mosquitoes is there's always an exception. But for the most part, ponds are not major sources of mosquitoes unless they are short-lived, very shallow, and subject to filling with rain and then drying up.